There he goes. That is Brian Wright. And
thank you for being a friend.
yes, thank you for being a friend and joining us today here on the big broadcast. We are live, and we are going to go to our next guest. He is going to join us, and Tony is going to join us here in a few moments. Tony Rundle. And apparently Tony Rundle, we are going to go to Tony Rundle. And if we don't go to Tony Rundle, we will play his song and I guess just go from there. Apparently, according to the old Skip Skype, yes, the Skype-a-rooney, we are now being told that Tony Rundle is unavailable. So we are going to go to Tony Rundle's new track. And this is a track, my friends. I'm going to see if I can pull the information up here. Because as you all know, you mustn't shoot your neighbor. However, you can take your neighbor to court. Even if your neighbor is not even anywhere near you. It is a track.
You mustn't shoot your neighbor, you know it isn't nice. Oh, that is what the good book says, so please take my advice. You'll never get to heaven, 'cause it's a mortal sin. But if you've got good reason, then you walk right in. Machine guns in the supermarkets out there on display. Get one with your burger in case you want to play. It don't matter if you're balmy, so says the NRA. Oh, suffer little children, 'cause that's the price you pay. You mustn't shoot your neighbor, you know it isn't nice. Oh, that is what the good book says, so please take my advice. You'll never get to heaven, 'cause it's a mortal sin. But if you've got good reason, then you walk right in. So get yourself a Kalashnikov or a Magnum 44 and fill them full of ammo as you walk out the door. Stroll around the killing fields to settle any score. There's playgrounds, theaters, hospitals, I'm sure you'll think of more. You mustn't shoot your neighbor, you know it isn't nice. Oh, that is what the good book says, so please take my advice. You'll never get to heaven, 'cause it's a mortal sin. But if you've got good reason, then you walk right in.
I think we have the artist joining us. He, of course, is got the great song here, You Mustn't Shoot Your Neighbor. And you mustn't shoot your neighbor, but you can take him to court, apparently. Tony Rundle is with us. Tony, welcome to the program. How are you, sir?
Oh, fine. Thanks. How's yourself?
You are amazing, my friend. So tell me a little bit about You Mustn't Shoot Your Neighbor.
Well, I wrote something like it last year, and then with all the shootings again just recently, I decided to change it a bit, because what's going on at the moment seems to be really quite awful. That there seems to be a mass shooting practically every day. I mean, I love America, right? But I'd never forgotten that my first visit to America was in the 70s, and I went to Washington. And in the back page paper, there was an article about somebody that had been shot by a policeman. Wow. And he'd been shot. He was seen taking a bicycle, and the policeman shot him.
Jesus.
And what always amazed me was that the argument wasn't about, hey, he was only stealing a bicycle. Should you really shoot a guy for that? The argument was that apparently this guy had a quick draw holster. And therefore, did he say, stop or I fire, and then, stop or I fire, bang? And if he'd got an ordinary holster, would he have given the guy more time to stop? And that's what the argument was about, not about whether it was reasonable to shoot a guy for stealing a bicycle. And it just seems to me that there's as I say, I love Americans, I love the States, but there seems to be something slightly wrong with attitudes to killing people.
Yes. We have got Tony Rundle with us today. You mustn't shoot your neighbor. And he is amazing. I love this photo of you in the all black with the pistol. Where in the world did you create this photo at, sir?
Oh, well, I spent some time as a professional photographer.
That's awesome.
So I got a picture of sort of a Wild West setup, and I got myself a black cowboy hat and a toy gun and a black shirt, and I made the photograph.
Fantastic.
Bit of green screen, it's all good stuff.
Fantastic. I love it. It is Tony Rundle. He's with us today. He joins us live here on our big broadcast. You mustn't shoot your neighbor. Is the track. He has he's just amazing. Fantastic, Tony Rundle. So, what is next for you as a musical artist?
Well, I've done basically an album of my own stuff. I've got a couple more to add to it, but then I'm probably going back to some of my roots, my other roots, and doing some folk music. So I'm working on one at the moment that I've nearly finished, which is a folk song from the northeast of England, and I really like. I don't know whether you've come across a Northumbrian small pipe.
I don't even know what that is, but it sounds like something I would like to own as a pet.
It's basically a small set of bagpipes.
Oh, okay.
A bit like the Scottish bagpipes. They're blown down a tube, and they're great if you hear them from the other side of a valley. The Irish pipes are a bit smaller, and they're blown with a bag under the arm that you pump, I think. And they're smaller. They're okay in a hall, but the Northumbrian small pipes are smaller still, and they're blown with a bellows under the arm. And you can actually, it's quite civilized to hear them in an ordinary room because they're not anywhere near as loud.
Okay.
Now, I don't play those, but what I did is I managed to sample some pipes and make a virtual instrument out of them. So I'm playing this virtual instrument as part of the accompaniment, and then it was a bit short because there's only 2 verses, so I then wrote a tune to add on the end of it, and I played a couple of guitars and bass and stuck them all together. So that will be available soon, and then I'm probably going to look at some other English traditional stuff.
So you've got all this music, you've got all these various things. What has been the reaction to your latest "You Mustn't Shoot Your Neighbor"?
Well, I haven't had any death threats yet. People seem to be ignoring it quite well.
Really? Well, I'll tell you, I have death threats all the time, and I haven't even released a song called "You Mustn't Shoot Your Neighbor." So it is pretty amazing. So, but 90% of the people, 99% of the people, Tony, that are doing the death threats are wannabe promoters, wannabe comedians, wannabe guys who want to have a name like Petty, which is kind of funny that he's as petty as he is and his first name is Petty. It's amazing. But Tony Rundle with us today. So, Tony, before we wrap up here with you, my friend, and I get another lawsuit at my doorstep, how do we get in touch with you online, sir?
Well, there's my website, which is tonyrundle.com. That's RUNDLE.com. And my email address is tony@tonyrundle.com. And you can find my music on there, or you can find it on the usual streaming channels, Spotify and all that stuff.
Fantastic.
But
Fantastic.
try looking at the website first.
Well, I appreciate it, Tony. We will talk to you soon. Have yourself a blessed day, my friend.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, my friend.
And I hope they don't get you.
Oh, they will. Actually, they won't, because I'm a superhero, brother. But a superhero. That's what I am. I'm a superhero.